Dr. Rodney's death to many people is a mystery, but I have inside information that I want to share. How I got this inside information, Dr. Rodney and I were in a similar situation. The Guyana government wanted to kill us because they find us a threat, but he had been more active and overtly involved, and they were able to knock him off. But I'll tell you about my rendezvous with death, various aspects of death after the Rodney. Now, Dr. Rodney is a serious scholar. University of the West Indies, London University, and as a history lecturer, I think in Jamaica, he started to get involved with, actions for the people and so on, and caused some riots up in Jamaica. I'm not sure if he was cut to be a politician, because I mean, if you're in a foreign country, you don't want to start no riot. You know what I mean? Anyway, he went back to Guyana, and I think he would have been a good lecturer because my sisters and others who were studying history, he was just brilliant. He knows everything about history, at least the phase he studied, and he's willing to help you along. You're walking on the street, and you say, Rodney, what do you think about this? So, what's the answer to that? And you write on with it. But in Guyana, you had another London graduate, Burnham, and he was socialist. Now, he was able to garner independence from Britain, and he moved on nationalizing and a whole variety of other social programs. He had a socialist agenda, and the West, Britain and others fought back, block loans, divested and so forth. So when he nationalized, he got divested, factory or industry or whatever, and the market was Europe and Britain. And so again, they won't buy the stuff, so he's left, with a bag. And looking at this coffee, he decided to ban some things like apples, grapes, import fruits, saltfish, and so on. So when Rodney came on, Rodney started talking in terms of I'm going to bring back saltfish, I'm going to bring back apple and grapes and so forth. And he had some genuine, social programs that people were interested in. I'm not sure if he was also a socialist, but it seems as if he might have been. Now, he started the Working People Alliance, and Burnham, as usual, infiltrated the organization with his guys. And they were specialists. They went in with specific agenda and so forth. And they know that the quorum is, whatever number. And they were they joined the party in large numbers. And they were above the quorum, so that any decision made, it was their decision, Burnham's decision. Now, I don't know Rodney to be a violent guy, because I don't even think he had a fight growing up. Maybe he did, but when you go into that school, Queen's College, and you're heading to Oxford, London, and Cambridge, and the University of the West Indies, you really have time to fight, and you don't have those kind of skills, because all your time is spent on studying and reading and thinking and so forth, and being inside. And so if he had fighting experience, it might have helped him. But these guys came on and told him that, look, man, Burnham is the only way we can get rid of this guy is by violence. That is Burnham's Secret Service guys telling him that. And they start talking about it on his platform. And then he started talking like that. And he talked in terms of, we got to get rid of Burnham by whatever means. I think that was Malcolm X saying, and I'm not sure if he understood what by any means meant. And so forth. There was another group, or maybe the same situation, but whatever. But there was a guy who Burnham boys met and said, look, man, we need this military action, overthrow and so forth. We're going to stockpile some guns, and then we're going to train and we can get ready. So here, at 6 o'clock, I want you to go by that river and take a plastic bag out of the river with guns, and take it to where we planned, and we're going to meet up and talk and stuff like that. When he reached there, at the time, arranged and took the guns out before he could put it in his trunk. Maybe these same guys or the colleagues rode up with a van and just shot him up. And then, the media would see he had a whole bunch of guns in the trunk and yada yada. So that's the kind of thing that Burnham was doing. Now, what I understand is that, and I heard this from the Secret Service guys who were in my case, and I'll tell you about my case later. They're talking, and I've heard them, and they're even telling me that's the way I'm going to go through too. They will tell him things like, Rodney, you're going to be the next prime minister, and oh, he's so happy. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And they will tell him things like, we want to borrow your car. My wife is pregnant and I need to take her to see the doctor. And you lend the car. Another time, whenever they want something, they'll borrow his car. But they were setting up him for, using his car. Now, if I were Rodney, I would have asked, let me come and see this wife with the pregnant. I have a gift I want to take for her. No, I know right away that'll fall apart. But he never verified nothing. He just believing everything they say. He just believing, and then they letting him on this violent, violent struggle talk and so forth. And Burnham is smiling because when he's talking violence, he's talking Burnham game. So the day now they're gonna kill him. I understand. They borrowed the car in the morning and they went and they set the bomb onto the seat. They returned the car and they said, you know what, we have to start organizing, and perhaps they were saying that before, we need to organize and have radios so we could communicate as opposed to cell phones. Maybe cell phones weren't popular then. So we need radios so we could communicate, etc., etc. Burnham had rounded up some of his Working People Alliance people and they were in the jail. So the jail is in the middle of the capital, and it is has a high, maybe a 20-foot fence of aluminium or galvanized. So they said, look, we're going to go by the prison, and you're going to be on this side and we're going to be on the opposite side. And if the communications can get through, because this metal thing is going to be interference, then you know that our radio is working. But they say, when you turn the switch on, you're going to see a flash. And I mean, he should have known better than, what flash? Oh, you can get a flash from a walkie-talkie radio, then you turn it on, you can get a flash. But let me tell you something else with Rodney before I tell you how this thing ended. Burnham took away his passport and grounded him. Maybe took him in detention, but released him on his own reconnaissance, and he couldn't leave the country and so forth. And he and Burnham were invited to speak at some conference in Africa, I'm told. So Burnham, knowing that he has him locked up, he gone over, knowing that he's not going to hear from Rodney. And when he reached, Rodney's name is still on the pamphlet, in the brochure. So the time came, and then everybody on the edge of the seat, and they say, and here is Dr. Rodney, and Dr. Rodney came out from behind the curtains. He was supposed to have his passport confiscated. He was supposed to be locked up or somewhere. And Rodney showed up and did his presentation. So he got Burnham real mad. However, so on this fateful night, Rodney and his brother were in the car, and the guys reportedly went on the other side. And when he turned on this switch, it ignited a bomb on the seat and ripped it up the seat and tear him up. His brother got wounded slightly and so forth. Now, somehow the FBI said they wanted to come and study the scene to see if some investigation. I don't know what they were doing or who invited them or what. But they delayed the FBI until their man had gone through. He laid out, he plotted the area in squares and so forth, and he went through every square inch and removed all the evidence that could suggest whatever. I understand that the guy who killed him was one guy named Smith. I can't remember his first name right now. He moved to the east of Guyana, either Suriname or French Guyana. And if the FBI was serious, or if it was true the FBI was going on, they could have gone and arrested this guy and get some information and see how to have gone. But as I showed here, Rodney was too trusting. Rodney was not thinking like a criminal. He wasn't devious. He wasn't thinking deviously that these guys, most likely going to be, the government infiltrate this stuff and hijack his party and take it to wherever he doesn't want to go. I mean, if I can't have a one-man party and my idea is going to dominate without it being modified much, I'm not going to be in that, because I know Burnham works. And so this is how Rodney died. And the guys were telling me that that's the way I'm going to go through too. And I'm saying, like, I don't understand this. And the things that Rodney did, basically, he could have been alive today. He might have died naturally by now or whatever, but to die in a big blast like that, it was unnecessary, because his policies, he got nowhere with it. And that's how Rodney died. He was too trusting. Burnham infiltrated his Working People Alliance, set a bomb on this car, blew him up, and that was the end of Dr. Rodney.